Contrary to popular belief, you do not need to buy a park ticket to have fun in Walt Disney World. In fact, some of the best experiences aren't locked behind a park gate. Number 1. Now this is something I've actually never done before. It's on my bucket list. You can do it right here in Magic Kingdom in Seven Seas Lagoon, right in front of Magic Kingdom, but you can also do it in Epcot, and there you drive right on to World Showcase Lagoon and have the experience right in front of Luminous, the fireworks show there. What am I talking about? I'm talking about private pontoon rentals available for groups of up to 10 guests to watch fireworks in Walt Disney World. Yes, I consider the Epcot fireworks cruise the gold standard because the boat anchors directly inside World Showcase Lagoon. This positions you on the water where the actual pyrotechnics occur, offering the most immersive experience watching Luminous, the Symphony of Us. Alternatively, the Magic Kingdom Fireworks Cruise provides a panoramic perspective from Seven Seas Lagoon, with boats typically parking near the park entrance for a clear line of sight to the happily ever after fireworks and castle projections. Now, this is a view that you could technically catch for free taking the ferry boat across Seven Seas Lagoon, if you time it perfectly with the fireworks. You also won't be able to watch the entire show from the same spot on Seven Seas Lagoon. You'll be on the move the whole time, which is another thing that makes the Epcot view so special. It's almost like having your own little VIP suite right on World Showcase Lagoon. Every cruise includes a private captain, assorted snacks and soft drinks. Festive banners and balloons can be added upon request at no extra charge. Pricing starts at $449 plus tax, though this varies by date and season. Because this is a flat rate for the boat, it is most economical for groups of 4 to 10 people to split, but it remains a very romantic option for a party of 2. Reservations open 60 days in advance and can be made via the My Disney Experience app, online, or by calling 407-939-7529. Guests must arrive at the designated arena, Bayside Marina for Epcot, or various resort marinas for Magic Kingdom at least 1 hour and 15 minutes before showtime. Number 2. This is also something I've never done. Quincy and I have had an amazing meal here, and we immortalized it in this video right up here. But this is an experience, well, let's just say it's taking something already very elaborate and gilding it with gold. If you're talking about the pinnacle of premium dining at Walt Disney World, this is it. Located at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Victoria and Albert's is a AAA 5-Diamond Award winner and a Michelin-starred restaurant, the only Michelin-starred restaurant at a U.S. theme park resort. While the main dining room is elite, and that's where Quincy and I did eat together and had a very magical time, the chef's table is the true VIP experience. You're seated in the heart of the kitchen for the multi-course degustation menu, typically spanning 7 to 10 courses, curated specifically for your party. The experience is intimate, incredibly exclusive, and lasts approximately 3 hours. Because it's located at the resort, no park ticket is required. For 2026, pricing for the chef's table begins at $425 per person, with optional wine pairing starting at $210 per person, plus tax and gratuity. There is a strict formal dress code, and guests must be at least 10 years of age. Reservations open 60 days in advance at 6 a.m. Eastern and are extremely limited. And just a little note about that dress code. Quincy and I took it very seriously, which you can see in the review that we made of it. I wore a suit, Quincy wore a beautiful dress, but there were people there that were dressed less formally, and they were allowed to dine. So this is the kind of thing that you need to decide for yourself. Do you want to have this experience wearing theme park wear, or do you want to have this experience wearing something more formal and get into the spirit and into the mood? It's sort of like this restaurant is themed as super fancy, but once you walk out the door, you're back in Walt Disney World, and there's a pool steps away from the front door of the restaurant with people wearing bathing suits. I know this experience sounds super expensive, and it is, but For comparison, during a peak week like President's Day or spring break, a single-day ticket to Magic Kingdom can reach $209, and a Lightning Lane Premier Pass can reach $449. That means you could spend over $650 per person before tax just for park admission and line-skipping access. Here, that budget goes towards a world-class, Michelin-starred tasting experience instead. Menus are printed and personalized with your name and the date of your dinner, serving as a refined keepsake from one of the most exclusive meals on Walt Disney World property. Number 3. This is actually an experience that I had vicariously through a friend. I watched him do it. Now here's a little riddle. We were both inside Epcot, but when his experience was over, he didn't have a ticket, so he couldn't come into Epcot. This is the one experience on the list that technically happens inside a Disney theme park without you ever buying a park ticket. The catch is that you're not walking through Epcot's front gate, you're entering from backstage and experiencing the park from inside a 5.7 million gallon saltwater aquarium, looking out at guests through several inches of reinforced glass while you're swimming in the exhibit. Dive Quest is a guided scuba experience inside the Seas Pavilion tank. The same massive habitat guests view from the attraction, except you're inside it, moving through the environment with sea turtles, reef fish, rays, and sharks, while visitors watch from the viewing windows. The full program runs about 2 hours total, with roughly 35 to 40 minutes spent underwater. The rest is dedicated to orientation, equipment fitting, safety briefing, and a backstage tour explaining how Disney operates and maintains one of the largest public aquariums in the country. Participants check in near Epcot's main entrance and are escorted backstage for the entire experience. Dive Quest is typically offered once or twice per day, often in early afternoon and late afternoon time slots. Pricing generally falls in the $229 to $249 per person range, depending on date, plus tax. All major equipment is provided, including wetsuit, regulator, and tank. Guests may bring their own dive mask if preferred. Cameras, phones, and personal recording devices are not permitted backstage or in the tank. This is not a beginner's experience. This is not the place to learn how to scuba dive. Participants must present proof of open water scuba certification and be at least 10 years old. Guests under 16 must be accompanied by a paying adult. Disney also enforces strict medical guidelines. Certain heart, respiratory, neurological, and balance-related conditions may restrict participation. Friends and family are not permitted backstage. If they want to watch from inside the Seas Pavilion, they must have valid Epcot admission. If you want to remain in the park before or after you dive, you will need a ticket. The dive itself, however, does not require park admission. It's the only experience in the category where you are physically inside a Disney theme park environment without entering as a guest, viewing Epcot from the inside of a working aquarium. That alone makes it one of the most unusual and exclusive non-ticket experiences on property. Number 4. Well, this is something I've done in bits and pieces, but I've never made an entire day out of it. In fact, I don't know if anyone on the AllEars team has made an entire day out of this experience, but you've definitely enjoyed us trying some of these activities separately through the years. This is not what I would call taking it easy. This is the most activity-dense non-park day on property. Not a resort stroll, not a hangout by the pool day, a structured, bookable, full schedule built around guided tours, land-based recreation, animal operations, and legacy entertainment. Start with the Wilderness Back Trail Adventure Segway Tour. It runs about 2 hours and covers forest trails, Bay Lake shoreline, and the physical corridor between Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge. It's the only guided experience in this zone that actually shows you how the area connects. It's also the only way that I could ever ride a Segway, I think. And I really want to try it. I haven't done it yet. After that tour, transfer to the Wilderness Lodge. If the art and architecture tour is running when you're there, take it. It explains the lobby's Pacific Northwest sourcing, the fireplace strata, and the design logic behind the building. Then, walk the Bay Lake shoreline paths. This is one of the quietest public areas on property. Return to Fort Wilderness and head to the Meadow area. Rent bikes or a Surrey cycle at the Bike Barn and ride the internal loops. This gives you access to cabins, campsites, and service roads most guests never walk. Return the bikes to the same location. In that same zone, schedule the Fort Wilderness Archery Experience. Equipment and instructions are included. Nearby, the marina offers canoe and kayak rentals. This block is where most of the physical recreation happens. Before leaving the Meadow area, stop at the gem mining station and sift for stones. It's small, but it's specific to this resort and not replicated anywhere else on Walt Disney World property. Mid-afternoon, move to the settlement area near Tri-Circle D Ranch and Pioneer Hall. This is where Disney houses and maintains the horses used for the Main Street vehicles and parades. If you're there, say hi to Zilly for me. He's a really beautiful horse that, well, I would go and visit him a lot during the pandemic when the horses were not being brought to Main Street, and he looked really sad. And I kind of became friends with him and made a habit of going and visiting him and talking to him. And then one day I saw his return to Magic Kingdom right there on Main Street. He had his head held high. He was so proud, right back where he belongs. So say hi to Zilly for me. If you've booked a guided horseback trail ride, this is when it fits in. Adult trail rides operate from a separate staging area and take guests into wooded sections of the property that aren't otherwise accessible. You'll find this experience right out front when you first pull into Fort Wilderness. In the evening, attend an early performance of Hoop-Dee-Doo Musical Review. The show runs about 2 hours and includes dinner and alcohol. It's been operating since the 70s and remains one of Disney's longest running and most popular entertainment offerings. After Hoop-Dee-Doo, walk to the campfire area for Chippendale's Campfire Sing-Along and Outdoor Movie. This is informal, weather-dependent, and functions as the closing activity for the resort each night. Number 5. This is one of my favorite places to hang out in Walt Disney World, and one of the reasons is a very kitschy spot, which is actually the only dance club still on Walt Disney World property. Can you guess what it is? This is Walt Disney World's only resort-based nightlife district, a concentrated waterfront zone that operates independently of a park ticket and without the scale or infrastructure of Disney Springs, aka it's a lot more approachable and it's easy to just relax and let yourself mosey along. Everything sits along Crescent Lake in a continuous pedestrian loop connecting Boardwalk Inn, Yacht Club, Beach Club, and the Swan and Dolphin. The full loop runs just under a mile. It stays active into the night and is designed for circulation. No entry gates, no reservation required to walk the district. The primary nightlife anchor is Abracadabar, a themed cocktail lounge with limited seating and specialty drinks. It functions as the adult bar core of the area, and it's themed after magic. Directly adjacent is the Cake Bake Shop by Gwendolyn Rogers, which operates as both a full-service restaurant and a bakery. Breakfast through dinner, afternoon tea, desserts, and alcohol are offered. It has become one of the visual focal points of the promenade and one of the absolute must-experience restaurants in Walt Disney World. Surrounding those two headliners are Flying Fish, Trattoria El Forno, Boardwalk Deli, Boardwalk Ice Cream, The Pizza Window, and Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs. This gives the district full dining coverage from signature to late-night walk-up. The dedicated nightlife venue is Atlantic Dance Hall, a standalone dance club operating in the evenings. No park admission required, you just have to be over 21. Along the promenade, Disney regularly schedules street performers, jugglers, musicians, comedy acts, typically appearing on select evenings, weather permitting. Midway-style carnival games also operate seasonally and usually open late afternoon into the evening. Retail is consolidated under Screen Door General Store, which now encompasses what were previously multiple retail storefronts along the boardwalk. Transportation into the zone includes walking paths, the friendship boats that connect the resorts to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, along with bus service to the rest of property. Parking is limited and often restricted unless you have a dining reservation. If you're staying at another resort, there won't be a connecting bus. My recommendation, take rideshare, load Uber and Lyft. What distinguishes this area from the others is density. In one waterfront loop, without park admission, you have nightlife, table service dining, quick service dining, a major indoor arcade and bowling venue, street entertainment, carnival games, and a full pedestrian district designed to be enjoyed day or night. Number 6. We all know Disney World transportation can be an experience in and of itself, but I'm not going to suggest that one today because we're doing things that are a little more, maybe lesser known and more high-end. And this is a day that involves both. You get to use that transportation, but also have some exclusive experiences around Walt Disney World property. There are a handful of experiences at Walt Disney World that exist outside the major resort zones we've already covered. They aren't part of Fort Wilderness. They aren't part of Crescent Lake. They aren't tied to Disney Springs. They're just scattered across property. On their own, each one feels, maybe a little minor. But when you intentionally combine the right ones, they create a complete structured premium day without stepping into a theme park or buying a ticket. Start the day at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa with the resort's scheduled morning yoga class. Saratoga Springs sits on the former site of the Disney Institute, a late 1990s experiment where guests enrolled in multi-day programs in photography, animation, cooking, and wellness instead of visiting theme parks. Most of that model disappeared in the early 2000s, but a few traces of structured instruction still remain there. The yoga sessions are one of them. These classes are listed on the Daily Recreation Activities Guide and are led by Disney Recreation staff. They typically run 45 to 60 minutes and take place outdoors on the lawn or in designated activity space. This is not casual stretching. You arrive at a set time, follow an instructor, and move through a planned routine. When offered, pricing is usually in the $15 to $25 range per person. Mats may be available in limited quantities or guests can bring their own. It's one of the only remaining examples of instructor-led wellness programming at a Disney resort. From Saratoga Springs, travel to Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, specifically Gran Destino Tower, for Sangria University at Toledo, tapas, steak, and seafood. Sangria University is a reservation-based beverage workshop hosted inside the restaurant's lounge space. It runs about 60 to 90 minutes and is led by trained food and beverage staff. Guests are taught the fundamentals of sangria: wine selection, fruit balance, sweeteners, and spirits. You taste multiple prepared versions and then build your own customized blend. It operates like a class, not a tasting flight. Keep in mind that space is limited and reservations are definitely required. This is one of the few resort experiences where Disney treats adults as participants rather than passive diners. In the evening, move to Crescent Lake near Disney's Boardwalk and rent a Surrey bike. Surrey bikes are multi-person pedal-powered vehicles that seat 2 to 4 adults. Rentals are sold in timed blocks, usually 30 minutes, and follow a defined path. Prices generally range from $20 to $25 per half hour. And no park ticket required. Number 7. Well, this one's gonna seem obvious because this is a place you can go in Disney World without a park ticket and have the Disney experience all kind of set up for you. But there might be things on this list that you haven't thought to do before, and you should, especially if you're in Walt Disney World without a park ticket. Disney Springs is a real day on its own because it stacks one major ticketed experience with a bunch of things you can't do anywhere else on Disney property without buying a ticket. Let's start with Drawn to Life. This is Cirque du Soleil's permanent show at Walt Disney World, performed in the custom-built theater on the west side of Disney Springs. I spent an entire day backstage with one of the performers, and it completely rewired how I see the show. It feels less like theater backstage and more like an advanced athletic training facility. Then you sit down for the show, and all of that discipline turns into something beautiful. The Mary Blair section absolutely ruined me. I ugly cried, and I was not ready for how meaningful and powerful that section was. The Blue Fairy sequence hit me way harder than I would ever expect, and I walked out realizing that this isn't a Disney Springs thing. This is one of the most complete live productions Disney runs anywhere, and the show runs most nights of the week. After the show, Disney Springs becomes about access. Disney Pin Traders is the largest pin store on Walt Disney World property. If you collect pins, this is the most concentrated selection you'll find anywhere on site. You don't have to bounce between parks hoping to find what you're looking for. It's probably all there. For crystal and engraving and glass art, there's Arribas Brothers at Disney Springs Crystal Arts. Almost every other Arribas Brothers location on property sits inside Epcot or Magic Kingdom. This is the only place you can browse their full glass and crystal line without going through a park gate and paying for a ticket first. If you want another type of art made while you wait, go to the Art Corner by Artistic Talent Group. Artists are working in real time doing caricatures, name art, custom sketches, and spin art. You're watching your souvenir get created right before your eyes. For a paid activity that only exists here, there are the vintage Amphicar tours at the Boathouse. You load in on land, drive down the ramp, and then float out into the central waterway that runs through Disney Springs, the same water you've been walking alongside all day. Tours last about 20 minutes and usually cost around $125 per vehicle. Disney Springs also has 2 full Starbucks locations, Marketplace and West Side. Every other Starbucks on Walt Disney World property is inside a theme park. If you want Starbucks without buying admission, this is your place. Looking ahead, the biggest addition is Level 99, scheduled to open sometime this year. The former NBA Experience building on the west side, and before that, it was the Disney Quest building. This is not an arcade. This is a multi-hour indoor challenge venue with dozens of physical and mental rooms, obstacle courses, timed puzzles, coordination games, logic challenges, and competitive team rooms. In other cities, people routinely spend 3 to 5 hours inside chasing points and clearing challenges. Once it opens here, it becomes a true anchor for a full day at Disney Springs. Number 8. Oh, this next one is my dream. I would love to experience this next one a lot, all the time. But if you've had one of these experiences, let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you where you went and how it was. What am I talking about? This is the part of Walt Disney World that most guests never touch. No rides, no queues, no lightning lane, no mobile ordering. It's a network of full-service resort spas operating inside and immediately around Disney property footprint, where the entire day is structured around scheduled appointments, controlled access, and physical separation from park traffic. Start with Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Senses is the only full-service spa operated directly by Disney. It's located inside the main building and runs as a closed, reservation-based facility. Guests check in at a dedicated desk and are assigned lockers and move into a secured interior space that includes steam rooms, lounges, and a private treatment corridor. From there, the highest end option inside the Disney bubble is Four Seasons Resort Orlando. The spa at Four Seasons operates as a destination facility separate from the theme park system. It includes hydrotherapy features, dedicated relaxation rooms, and adults-only areas that are physically isolated from the main resort pool and family zones. Access is controlled through the spa lobby, and guests are routed directly into private circulation paths. Inside Bonnet Creek, Waldorf Astoria Orlando operates the Waldorf Astoria Spa. This facility follows a traditional luxury hotel model. Appointment-based treatments, private locker rooms, quiet waiting lounges, and standardized massages and skincare programs. Also in Bonnet Creek is Conrad Orlando at Evermore. The Conrad Spa is newer and built around contemporary wellness design. The facility emphasizes open architectural layouts, modern treatment rooms, and updated therapy programs. It functions independently of Disney operations and draws both resort guests and off-property visitors. South of the main Disney resort area is Grand Lakes, home to the Ritz-Carlton and JW Marriott. These two properties share a single large spa complex. Although not Disney-owned, they sit within what most guests consider the bubble. The Ritz-Carlton Spa at Grand Lakes includes a full hydrotherapy circuit, multiple locker lounges, and extensive treatment capacity. Guests can check in at either hotel and are routed into the shared spa infrastructure. Between the Grand Floridian Four Seasons, Bonnet Creek, and Grand Lakes, Walt Disney World supports a concentrated network of high-capacity, full-service resort spas inside its immediate footprint. Number 9. Oh man, I don't know about this hand thing, but I have to commit now. I've done it every time. I've done both these things in Disney World, and I loved them, and I'm so excited that I have a pass that allows me to do them whenever I want. And no, they do not require me having a ticket to get into a park. Disney's golf operation is no joke. There are 3 full championship courses, Magnolia, Palm, and Lake Buena Vista, plus Oak Trail, which is a 9-hole walking course. These are regulation layouts with carts, not Oak Trail, it's a walking course, pro shops, practice areas, and real tee time on demand. You're not doing a Disney version of golf, you're playing resort golf that happens to sit inside Walt Disney World. Magnolia is the headline course. It went through a major redesign and now plays much more like a modern resort layout with wider fairways, rebuilt greens, and more aggressive bunkering. Morning tee times in busy seasons can push close to $200, but twilight rates are usually much lower if you're flexible. Carts are included, and if you don't want to travel with clubs, tailor-made rentals run about $65 and are actually good. Palm and Lake Buena Vista are a little tighter and more traditional. More trees, more water. Pricing is usually a bit lower than Magnolia, but the structure is the same. Peak mornings are expensive, while afternoons are where the value lives. If you don't want to commit to 4 hours or 18 holes, Oak Trail is the move. This is the only one that I have personally played, and it was perfect for me. It's 9 holes, walking only, and much cheaper, usually somewhere in the $30 to $60 range. In the afternoons, they also run foot golf here, which is kind of what it sounds like. It's soccer instead of clubs. You literally kick a soccer ball and it goes into holes. It's great if someone in your group doesn't actually play golf or isn't interested in learning. And then there's the part I personally love the most, the clubhouse. If you're playing at Magnolia, Palm, or Oak Trail, you're eating at Chippendale's Deli. This is quietly one of the best food values on property. It's not flashy, it's just a golf snack bar, but you can get a hot dog for about $7. In a place where a soda is $6 in the parks, the deals on the combos and the beer buckets and the bottled water are unbelievable compared to the cost of those exact same items elsewhere on property. After golf, you've got 2 mini golf options that are both legit. Fantasia Gardens is near the Boardwalk and the Swan and Dolphin. It has 2 courses. The Gardens side is classic Disney mini golf with Fantasia theming, but the Fairways side is basically miniaturized real golf. Long holes, bunkers, slopes, and water hazards. It's genuinely difficult, and a lot of serious mini golf people consider it one of the toughest courses in the country. Winter Summerland is over by Blizzard Beach. Same idea, 2 full 18-hole courses, 1 snowy Christmas theme, 1 beach theme. Both are built for heavy evening traffic and family play. Mini golf is about $19 for adults or $12 for kids. If you have magical extras from a vacation package, you can usually redeem a free round before 4 in the afternoon. So, a real day of golf at Disney looks like this. A morning tee time on Magnolia or Palm, lunch at Chippendale's, and afternoon 9 at Oak Trail or a round of foot golf, and then mini golf at Fantasia Gardens or Winter Summerland at sunset. Number 10. I've talked about wanting to do this in a video before, and people commented, "Breedlove, you don't even eat fish. Why would you even go fishing? What's the point?" And you know what? They were right. But I do want to say that the idea of getting on a boat and hanging out with my friends and chilling while they go fishing and do the ritual of actual fishing while I do the ritual of being a friend who hangs out with people while they fish, then that would sound like a great day. Disney runs fully guided bass fishing trips on Bay Lake, Seven Seas Lagoon, Crescent Lake, and a handful of internal resort waterways using certified guides and tournament-rigged boats. You're not renting something and figuring it out yourself. You're stepping into a managed guide operation that happens to exist right inside Walt Disney World. You choose between two setups. The Sun Tracker pontoons are the more stable option and typically where live bait like minnows comes into play. If you want that classic Florida bass experience, that's usually the move. The Nitro bass boats are faster, lower to the water, and run lure only, built more like what you'd see in a tournament circuit. Casting decks, sonar, proper hardware, different feel, same access. Trips are booked in 2 and 4 hour blocks. The 2-hour morning departures are running roughly $270 to just under $300 depending on date. 4-hour trips land in the mid to high 400s. That covers the boat, the guide, rods, reels, tackle, bait where applicable, and licensing. You don't bring gear, you show up and fish. Most launches leave from the marinas at the Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Yacht Club, Boardwalk, and Fort Wilderness. You check in at the marina, no park admission needed, no security lines. Within minutes, you're idling past shoreline that regular guests never get near. The lakes are catch and release only and lightly pressured compared to public waters. 5 to 8 pound largemouth isn't rare here. A small cooler with sandwiches and a couple of beers is definitely permitted. It's one of the few experiences inside the Disney bubble where you can sit on open water, legally have a drink, and not be inside a crowd. What makes this different isn't just the fishing, it's the geography. You're running water corridors behind Magic Kingdom, between monorail resorts, through operational channels that exist purely for transport and shoreline management. No park ticket, no timed entries, just open water inside one of the most controlled pieces of land in Florida. Probably in the whole world. If you made it to the end, go ahead and put this password in the comments below. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be one of the first to know when myself or one of my friends comes out with a brand new video, something we do all week. Why? Because we're serious about fun. See you next time.